Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to make one of my most favorite recipes, and that is lobster curry. If you are fond of lobsters like me, then definitely you are going to love this recipe. And I normally enjoy this recipe if I make it in an Indian way. So this recipe will have an Indian gravy to it. Let's get started. I have taken here 2 lobsters, and I'm not going to use both the lobsters. I'll just use one of it for this dish. I have already washed it properly, and since I got live lobsters, I kept it in the freezer just to ensure that I'm not cooking a live lobster. Rather, I'm going to kill it in a humane way. So kept it in the freezer. Once it's completely chilled, it normally sleeps, and then you can clean it. So I'm going to keep this bigger one to make a Thai dish, and these 2 lobsters came about a little more than 3 pounds, and the smaller one that today I'm using is a little more than 1 pound. So the first thing is to flip it, and then I'm going to just make a cut lengthwise. I'm going to cut this lobster into 2 lengthwise, and you need a very sharp knife because the shell of a lobster is pretty hard. So you need to put a lot of pressure, and you need to have a very sharp knife. So give a cut in the center lengthwise. And then literally you have to break the shell open, like this. Still I need to cut the bottom layer of shell. Yeah, it should do. Yes. Yeah, just break it into 2. Ripping it apart because the shell, as I said, is pretty hard. Yeah, so the lobster is cut into 2 now. I'm going to just wipe my hand, and always use a different chopping board whenever you are dealing with any kind of meat or shellfish, live ones, because it has a lot of bacteria, and if you chop your vegetable or fruit which you eat raw, then there is a chance of cross contamination. And now you can see this greenish almost jelly like thing. This is called lobster tamale, and in top restaurants this is used for making any lobster flavored sauces. Chefs add it to salad dressings. This is a delicacy, but a lot of people don't like it. They find it rather gross, so they just discard it. But it's up to you if you want to use it or not. I love it, so I'm using it. In fact, people compare it to foie gras, and it's just up to you. I just love because it's has loads of flavor, so I'm adding it. And then I have the claws. I would have taken the band out before cleaning, but somehow I forgot, so I still have the band. And if you want, you can break away the claws, but I'm going to keep it the way it is. I'm not going to break it away, but whenever you are making it, do ensure that you are taking out the band and then cleaning the claws properly. So just take out the 2 bands, and always buy a live lobster, because in a lot of supermarkets you find the cooked ones and they really don't taste well. And normally this is found in any Asian supermarket, but the place where I live, I kind of find it in every supermarket, so it's quite easily available. And in my family, we all love eating lobster, so I cook lobster very frequently. If you want, you can cook it the Western way. You just boil it and then take out the meat and dip it in butter and eat it. The next thing is to marinate the lobster. I have added 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of turmeric powder. Give it a very good rub, and the next thing is to shallow fry it in some mustard oil. As I said, you can eat it the Western way, but as an Indian I find it rather bland, so I either cook it Indian style or Thai style. So this is it. The next thing is to shallow fry it. I had heated about 4 tablespoons of mustard oil and added the lobster in that, and I'm going to cook it for just 2 minutes on high heat. I'm not going to cook the lobsters right now. I'm going to cook it through in the gravy. So just for 2 minutes, 1 minute on each side on high heat, and that's it. After that I'm going to take it out, and then I'll make the gravy and just throw in the lobster into the gravy, and then I'll cook it through. So it's been 2 minutes now, so this is ready. The next thing is to make the gravy. For the gravy, I have heated here about 5 to 6 tablespoons of oil and added few bay leaves, about 3 cardamoms crushed, couple of sticks of cinnamon, and then I'm going to just fry the garam masala, whole garam masala, for about a minute. Now goes some onion paste. This is a big sized white onion which I have ground it to a fine paste, and I cooked the onion for about a minute. Now it's quite translucent. Now goes about 2 tablespoons of ginger and garlic paste, and I'm going to cook the ginger and garlic paste till the raw aroma is gone. Ginger garlic paste is done. Now to this I'm adding tomato puree. I have added about half a cup of tomato puree. Now along with the tomato I'm adding some salt, and dry spices, in which I'm adding a teaspoon of turmeric powder, a teaspoon of cumin seed powder, a tablespoon of coriander seed powder. Give it a good mix, and now goes about a tablespoon of red chili powder, or else you can add it according to your taste. I'm going to cook this masala till it dries up and oil starts to ooze out. So keep the heat on medium. The masala is ready. You can see it's quite dry. Now to this I'm adding about half a cup of water and half a cup of coconut milk. Give it a good mix, and the next thing is to add the lobster to it and then cook it through in this gravy. So it's well mixed and it has already come to a boil. Now goes the lobster, and don't overcook the lobster, then it will get very tough. The cooking time of a lobster is 10 minutes for every pound of lobster, and then for every pound further it's like 3 to 4 minutes. Since it's a little more than 1 pound, so I'm going to just cook it for 10 minutes. That's it. So cover the lid, cook it for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes the lobster is ready. You can see here it has turned reddish, and that's because it's completely cooked through. Once the lobster is cooked, it changes color to red, and the gravy is nice and thick. So the gravy is ready. Now the final ingredient is about half a cup of coconut cream. If you don't find coconut cream, then you can use normal coconut milk, but the coconut cream is rather a very richer option, which will make this gravy very creamy and very delicious. And finally about a teaspoon of garam masala powder, and that's it. Give it a good mix. If you want the gravy to be a little thinner, you can add some more coconut milk, but this is just the right consistency for me since I'm going to serve it with some steamed rice. So this is it, finally ready to serve. The creamy delicious lobster curry is ready. I love this recipe with some steamed rice. Though it's a little difficult for you to eat the lobster because it takes a lot of effort, but believe me, it's a very delicious thing. So do try this very creamy lobster curry, and do share your comments and your suggestions. We will meet next time, and don't forget to subscribe. Till then, bye bye.